Another edition of Live with Phyllis Bucci and
Kim Henderson.
And just to touch on last week, and welcome everybody that's been watching. We really appreciate that your trust and faith is in, what we present and what we're learning, and hopefully what you're seeing is the change in us and in our lives. And
we've had some great feedback.
Great
from
feedback,
last
thank
week,
you.
And we had some great questions. So I want to thank Jamie, and I want to thank Anne-Marie, especially both for asking questions. And we were talking about getting unstuck last week. And one of the questions came across from Jamie, and the answer is patience, and that's what we're working on today.
Yes, patience is the topic today. So just to get started, there's a quote that I was digging for. Of course it popped up when I wasn't looking for it, and I just needed patience. And now I can't find it, but it's a quote that says, patience teaches patience, or patience is learned from patience. And the more I started to think about that, the more it started to make sense, because we do learn patience from being patient, because at some point in our life we go, wow, I was really patient and this did work out. And so we're all in a situation where times have been very trying, different issues have come up in our life, we're all kind of in this whirlwind, we all agree on that. Sometimes things happen faster than we'd like them to, sometimes things take longer than we'd like them to. And I think that a very important point with trying to learn and practice and be patient is to let go of the emotional attachment to whatever the outcome is. Because those emotions are really what stir up all the stress and the anxiety. And the minute that level of vibration starts to get put out, you're now actually blocking what you want to come in, because you start the thoughts like, oh, what if it doesn't happen?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't happen the way I want to? You take a pill, you want to get better. You run 20 miles, you want to lose 10 pounds. We're in an instant gratification world. And even that happens so fast, we're all still trying to, I had to let the lady at Sprint tell me this morning what data meant, because I don't even know what data was. Now I do. I won't be looking up so many things on my phone, but no, I need to go over my data limit, but it's okay. But anyway, just learning to let go and let things happen in the time that it's supposed to. The universe works in cycles, and we've learned that working with those cycles and going with the way things flow in the natural course of universal events, you're not finding as much resistance, and you kind of expect something and then detach from it and let it happen.
And that's the part you really have to learn.
Yes.
It really is. We went to, you said already about losing weight or running, and I've been running. I was never a athlete prior to 3 years ago, and I started running. And I run at least every week, and I never feel like I'm fast enough. I never feel like, it's like you're not feeling like you're good enough. But you are, because you're out there doing it. I just ran this morning, And so I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting leaner. But because I didn't see that instantly, or maybe I'm comparing to somebody else, and that's another part of the manifesting and the patience, is stop looking at what everybody else is doing. We all have our own journey. We all have issues too. So we're all just working through. And I think the more friendly we can be to each other and the more kind that we can be to each other will help recognize all of everybody's differences in their journeys.
That's right. That's right. And you can choose in that moment of, when is this going to happen? It could be a job a job opportunity. It could be finding your new home. It could be meeting that special someone, finding that right business partner, finding, what you thought you always wanted all your life. Whatever it is, just focus on the intention, put it out there, walk away, go about your business, and let it happen. And you'll find the path of least resistance is going to bring what you're looking for to you. Now, just to kind of touch on that, buyer beware, I'm here to tell you that the universe is literal. So you may want something or you may not want something. So let's say you're on your way to an appointment, you're like, oh, I don't want to be late, I don't want to be late, I don't want to be late. The universe doesn't hear, I want, I don't want. The universe hears late, and guess what you are? But if you get to that place and you go, oh, I'll be fine, I'll find a parking spot, everything will be great. All of a sudden, the parking spot's open. This morning, I was going to get coffee. I pull into a lane, there's these people unpacking their car and putting, like exchanging packages, groceries, and suitcases, right in the middle of where everybody needs to like drive through. Now, I could have driven up and gone, well, we won't go there. I couldn't, but my very first reaction, because we've been implementing all of this stuff for so long and teaching it to ourselves, which is why we're bringing it to you,
Yeah.
I actually went like this. Okay, where can I park? They probably have a lot to do, and boy, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, but I hope they get it done. And 2 spots were open right in the next lane, right close to where I was getting the coffee, and it was great. I leave there, I'm on my way to the store, and there's construction back on Narcissa Road,
Right?
and the flag guys aren't getting it together this morning because they were both letting people go, and as I started to go, he flipped the sign to stop, so I had to stop mid-pulling into the lane, and, you know, good, the guy behind me didn't start to go, so I could back up. I could have gone, you know, what the heck, but you know what? I just went, wow, they must be, like, having a bad day or
Hope
something.
it gets better for them.
Everybody, you know, it happens everywhere. And I really was great, like, just waiting there. And then I said, there's a reason I'm supposed to be delayed a little bit. So look for those reasons and why you're waiting for things. The universe is preparing you for what you asked for. And it's preparing you in case it's not wrapped exactly like you want it. And it's preparing for that intention to come to you.
That happened on 9/11. How many people missed their plane? How many people were late for work? You know, and you heard all those stories later, but how frazzled were they in the morning when that actually happened? I can't even imagine missing my flight, but it happens, and for good reason. That's a great way to look at
Listen,
it.
fortunately, my cousin's wife was ill that day and couldn't go to work, and she works, I think it was on the 10th floor.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a plan.
Yeah.
It came before us. The sooner you get in sync with the idea of everything is out there for us, everything is in this place of, all right, so let's explain it like this.
Yeah.
There is a place, a space between all of us, between everything in a room, everything out there, cars, everything. And in this space is an energy of no form. It's just an energy. And when we think what we want, we're actually accessing this no form energy and allowing it to take the form of what we're thinking and manifest what we want. So just with that thought, think about focusing on one thing like we told you to do last week, and think of that one thing and focus on that, and then just allow it to happen. Go about your daily business. Let the universe, you know, take it and make it happen in exactly the timing that it's supposed to. Because we all know what happens when the timing isn't right. You really think it's the best thing in the world, and then you find out it was just another lesson, which is fine, because lessons mean growth. But think of this time of being patient as a growth period.
Yeah, it's part of your journey. It really is, right? You know, all these learning lessons, because imagine if you just woke up and you were a millionaire and you didn't know what to do with it and you just spent it all. What was the fun of that? You know, if you worked hard to get it, or however you're manifesting and you understand how to use that and that you're going to do it for good and whatever it means to you in that moment.
Absolutely.
Right? Part of the journey.
Yes. So how about a couple of steps that you can try, that you can do, I'm not even going to say try, that you can do that will help you maybe to get started. I guess it's like meditation, you have to learn. So I'm going to start with...
Even when we started doing these videos a few weeks ago, we started with some of these ideas which are now part of our steps too, because we were thinking about what is it that we want to do, And then last week we were talking about being unstuck, or that, being stuck and then getting unstuck. And now this week, implementing the patience part of it. So part of that still has the meditation component in it, because you have to be able to stop your thoughts from going haywire all the time. And then the rest of your...
And it'll really cut down on your stress and anxiety, because what it does to you when you want something and you want it now, or you want it yesterday, or that guy's got this, and thinking about what other people have and thinking you should have this. Well, the minute you take the step to get it, you're going to get it. But it takes time, and it takes the right timing. So the first thing you can do when you set a plan out and you know that you have to be patient for it to happen, start out with, what is this teaching me? What is this little bit of time frame in here teaching me? Patience is the first thing. And then the other thing is, maybe what you're asking for is not necessarily what you need in exactly the form you asked for it. So the universe is actually manifesting it, but it's manifesting it to the energy that you're really putting out with your thoughts. Because your conscious thoughts and your subconscious thoughts are very different things at sometimes, unless they're aligned. And if the feeling of what you want isn't aligned with what you're really thinking and seeing that you want, that puts like a kink in the hose. Mm-hmm. So be really clear about what it is you want, and have this confidence that it's going to happen, and be willing to accept however it's brought to you. So that's the first tip I wrote down. And the second thing is, stop and ask before you get impatient and you're waiting for the guy in front of you to go or whatever. Is it worth me ruining my whole day and starting this stress in my body?
And the negativity piling up.
And the negativity that it brings. Mm-hmm. So stop and think that, and then say, no, it's really not worth that. And then this is going to give me time to prepare myself, give me a little bit of time to go within and really make sure this is what I want, and this is what my goal is, or this is the person I want to meet, or this is the job I want to do, and really take that time. And the third point that I want to make is, let's say you're waiting for a refund. You're waiting for maybe a diagnosis, health results. Detach emotionally from the outcome. Mm-hmm. Don't preconceive, this might happen, that might happen, this might. Why would you give energy to anything that you don't want? Why would you put all of that thought into something you don't want? The day you start allowing only your mind to think of the things that you really want, I'm telling you, a whole new door of magic opens.
Oh my gosh.
And we are just, like, I'm telling you, as much as I want this year to be over, I am feeling like in such a great place with tools in hand and going, the more we use the universal stuff that we talk about and read about and share, how quickly are things manifesting.
And for us to be able to vocalize this, because this is what we've been learning how to practice pretty much all summer, if not all year. I've lost track of time.
And we're doing it now. Let's do
now
it.
we're doing it. And that's going to help us be able to do what we want to do more, because we can actually express it today, and we can tell you what we've been through. Personally, you can ask us off camera.
Right.
But, what we've been through, what we're experiencing now, which has been really a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and being in that good place. And now we're recognizing the signs in our body, like feeling happy. And feeling like the baggage is gone. Right? Instead of being like that heaviness on your heart or the worry in your mind. I feel pretty free of that right now.
Absolutely.
You do too.
And we all have stressful situations.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you look at these situations and just say, so I'm being tested, and I know in that test I'm also growing.
Yeah. And we've both had the opportunity to help other people.
Yes.
And so that helps you detach from what you're going through on your own, right? And
I have to say there's no better gift than helping other people.
Because it puts into perspective what you're actually going through or have, or what you think is negative. And then you are blessed to be in the position, and I've been blessed to be in this position numerous times this year. And I'm in great company with most of my sphere too is like this too. So my friends now have a very similar belief in helping and in spreading joy and kindness, and that's spreading, but it's also helped me inside because I'm a part of that.
Absolutely.
Right?
And when you rush to get things done and you're so stressed when you're making the decision, if you think of all the outcomes and in your real soul, you know that time is what's going to bring you what you really need, all you're really doing is prolonging the inevitable of what is to be and what is supposed to be for your highest good.
Yeah.
And I think the sooner you start to just back up and find peace within yourself to
Yeah.
wait that little bit of time,
Yeah.
the time goes by and then you went, oh, I was impatient for nothing. Look how
Yeah.
great this turned out. There's always a
We're
better
worried for nothing.
thing. Worried for nothing.
For nothing. You
Who
spend
needs
so
it?
much time worrying when you can really just start thinking about what if I succeeded?
Right.
Somebody said to me one day, what if you fail? What? What if you succeed? How awesome would that be? Why don't you tell me about that?
Right.
Start telling yourself what that feels like.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I just, there's like a lot of tools that we have, and I think that using what's internal is really what helps you to outer stand, which is the understanding of what is outside of us that is going to happen, and when it does, we will be prepared, and the patience is really going to teach us calmness. And when whatever does manifest, if it's not exactly the way we thought it was going to be, that's the time to, hate to use another cliche, but make lemonade from lemons. Like, use what you did get.
Yeah.
Stop looking at things like, well, this isn't what I wanted. Well, you don't always get what you want, but you definitely get what you need.
Or it doesn't look like you thought it was going to look like.
Absolutely.
That's that big.
And that's a preconceived
Yeah.
idea of how things are supposed to be, as opposed to how things really are. Because the truth is, everything that's coming to us is already out in that field. It's just a matter of us asking for it, allowing it to come, and aligning the vibrations of what we're asking for and what's to be. And I think that all of this is really what teaches us patience. Patience, it's a really good feeling.
Yeah. And don't beat yourself up, especially when you find yourself in that negative moment, or if in today, even as far as if you're on a diet, and you ate something that suddenly you beat yourself up for, instead of landsliding into the day and just falling off of your diet and beating yourself up, it happened. Move on. Go to the next thing. Work out, take an extra walk today, or do something. Let yourself off the hook for being human.
Absolutely. And one other little tip I want to give you, and I don't have any on the table with me, but a lot of times when I'm thinking, what's going on? Why is this happening the way it is? How much longer? I'll go to like an oracle card deck and I'll just ask, what do I need to know today? And I'll actually ask, what do I need to know today so I can disconnect, let it happen, and be more patient, knowing that there's another, plan in store for me.
And look for the signs that are out there. The angel numbers, a lot of times people see 1111, 111, the triple numbers, 222, 7.
That's right.
Doreen Virtue is somebody that I follow quite a bit with
Absolutely.
the angel numbers, and you can look up Doreen Virtue angel numbers and that number like 1111, which means manifesting and also being aware of your thoughts, and that can help you. Like suddenly when you start looking for signs, like I said before, I had a 24-hour period where there was like pennies following me. It was like, and I thought, okay, I better start paying attention right now, or feathers, you're just walking along and you see a random feather and like a big beautiful one. What did that mean? Is that a sign that you were looking for in that day? And then to your point with oracle cards, Doreen Virtue on Facebook every morning posts a new oracle card for the day, an angel card. And I read that every morning almost before I get out of bed.
Right.
Just like a little bit of guidance. It's kind of like horoscope, or, just to me it's that guidance to say, okay, be aware of this, or, ask for that, or just be, patient, or whatever it is in the day, and it sets the tone, and it's positive. That's the thing, it's positive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's not like turning on the news and listening to that. It's like, okay, your archangels are watching out for you today, and be aware of this, or what have you.
That's right, that's right. And many of you that have been here and coming here for we'll be here 7 years soon. And those of you that have been here know Karen Flora, who does actual regular deck card readings here. People leave after that reading with such a feeling of peace. And I think that actually catalyzes a little bit of patience, because you can see a little bit of what's going on and what's coming, and it helps you to make decisions, to step back and allow for what's in the cards to happen, so to speak. So there are many tools, but you'll find your niche, you'll find what works for you, but really try to detach from the emotional outcome. And if you have any questions or anything else that we can help you with this, definitely write into us, and we're happy to answer and talk about it. And
we'll definitely, what we've been finding the last few weeks is we get a comment or a few comments afterwards, and they're usually the same theme, and so that helps us generate next week's topic. And we're more than happy just to help. And I think what we've been to each other has been kind of a sounding board, and we both had some tools of our own coming into our relationship. And week after week, we would just sit here just like this, and we would just bounce stuff off of each other. And it helped us. It helped us shed a lot of crap, basically. Over the summer.
For sure.
And in a very heavy kind of year, and put things into perspective for us. And then we've both been able to move forward in our perspective.
That's right.
Life journeys.
That's
and
right.
So we figure that we can help you. And in the meantime, when we help someone else, it helps us.
I'm actually, for those of you that know me, I'm still in a situation where my mom lives with me, and there's a lot of patience needed for that whole situation. And it's been over a year. And I'm like going about my day knowing that the universe, God, my dad, all will take time, and the longer it's taking, the better the outcome is going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've really learned I've had to detach emotionally from whatever the outcome is. I mean, we're giving you really significant issues that we deal with every day. This is not from a book. This is life. But of course, thank goodness for the self-help books that kind of point things out and help us to remember what we already know in our cellular memory, and bring all of this ancient knowledge to the surface to let us get through every day. Every day.
And I've definitely had a circumstance over the last, few months at least, and I made a leap of faith and made a big change in my life recently, and I'm really glad that I did, and I was able to watch for the signs when it happened, and now I'm in a position of reaping the rewards for that, and I'm really grateful about that. And I'm really glad, I think probably from working together, to be able to recognize that this is what's happening, instead of just plow through life, and to be able to recognize.
It just happened when, so Kim had a situation come up, and she said, well, it's not really what I was looking for. And I said to her, well, maybe it's just a bridge to what is coming to you. A lot of times when things come to us and it doesn't look like what we wanted, look at it and say, well, this must be the bridge that's going to connect me to what it is I really, truly desire, and what's for my highest good.
Yeah, and it was great to have you to see that when it happens. We were both like, oh, that was the reason.
Well, we always see it for somebody else.
Right.
It's so easy to be on the outside looking in.
We're not judging,
Right.
and so that's
No
kind
judgment.
of a huge thing too.
No
It's
judgment.
Don't judge your neighbor. Don't judge yourself for what it is that you're going through. And the same thing when you're looking and saying, oh, I wish I had that. I don't really feel like you're not being fair to yourself. You're judging yourself. You're judging them. You have no idea what the insight is into their life. Instead, give yourself that space and really focus on what it is that you need. I've been doing that a lot, and as a result, I think I'm I'm more able to give to everybody who, that's what I do. I'm a giver, I'm a healer, you know, and.
Right, and part of like the test in being patient, I think, is about our growth because it leads to forgiveness, compassion, and we really start to see things more for not the physical of what happened, but spiritually what's happening in our life, like losing a job so that it can open a door for something else. Sometimes we'll lose a loved one or lose a relationship or something, and maybe the lesson is to teach us that we can do what we need to do on our own, that we are strong enough, that we are smart enough, that we are powerful enough to carry on and life goes on. I mean, we all have, you know, situations that are relatively the same, but different situation.
Yeah.
And we learn from them. So we hope that this was helpful for you, and that, you know, today's subject is really going to help you to learn patience, and that you'll follow some of the you know, steps that we've given you. And I definitely recommend that you either get The Secret, borrow The Secret, get it on Netflix. I'm actually thinking about doing a secret night here where you can come and watch The Secret. I'll put it out on Facebook. But I think if you haven't watched that, it's a wonderful place to start, and it's really excellent information, and it's going to teach you all about this law of attraction, which it's only one of the many laws, but when you start to get in sync with really utilizing the universal energy and the universal intelligence to match it to your own,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, such a world of magic and miracles will open for you.
There's a lot of people, depending on what your background is, what your faith is, there's a lot of people who bring this information forward in different languages. Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Joel Osteen,
Marianne Williamson.
Marianne Williamson. There's just Esther Hicks is was it Ask and It Is Given? I read that book so many
Well,
times.
Esther Hicks is actually the beginning of the law of attraction
Right.
before The Secret even happened.
Yes. And
Alberto
it was a difficult
Valdo.
read, but I read it numerous times. And that's the other thing for all of my self-help books. I'm in such a hurry to read through them. I want to finish the book every single time. And my maturity lately has been, okay, go back and revisit that because you knew that there was like something in there that resonated. Go back and read it. And so I've been using more of my books more like workbooks
Absolutely,
rather than
reference.
reading through them.
Go back
Yeah.
and reference all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Feng Shui. I mean, there's just so many different avenues to be able to create what it is that you're looking for. It just really depends on
Absolutely.
your beliefs, and we don't think that there's just one.
Absolutely. So we want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We hope, and I'm sure that this was helpful. There's probably something, a little bit for something that everybody heard. And if you think that there's somebody you know that could really benefit from the information, please feel free to share
Yeah.
our video. We love you. Thank you for joining us.
Inbox us, text us, email us, either Phyllis or I, or the Holistic Apothecary.
It's okay, it's all
It's
good.
a mouthful. But, you know,
It is.
reach out to us any way that you can, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
Have a beautiful day. Very blessed.